And this man says, your place or mine. And I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And today's episode is brought to you by my book, Single Woman Chronicles series, the fiction series. It's an Atlanta love story, kinda. It is about a young lady named Ariana, and she is navigating her way through dating in Atlanta. She thinks she meets a great guy. He ain't got no kids. He got a great job. He wines and dines her. But does he have some secrets up in his closet? And then her ex comes out of nowhere after ghosting her. She's trying to figure out what she needs to do. So check out the series. It's on Amazon.com. It's also on Audible. I don't know why my mind just blanked. This is the second time this week. Anyway, it's on Audible. It's on books on Google Play as well as Apple Books. So today, let's get into this story time. It is about one of my biggest dating regrets. You know how people ask you, like, do you regret losing people? And I can't 100% say yes that I regret losing people, but I can say that I regret my interactions with certain people. Meaning that if I could go back and interact with them differently, I would. Just to see if there would have been a better result. Because I'm just such a, like, accountable person. I'm very big on, like, being your best self in most situations. Well, not most, in all situations, but of course we all fall short. So there have been several situations where I felt like I fell short and I didn't show up as my best self. So I really wish I could repeat those moments to kind of see, like, if it would have panned out. It's hard for me to say that I regret or that I feel like I lost someone just because I feel like everything happens for a reason. And if that person isn't in my life, then they're just not meant to be. But there are moments that I wish that I could redo. I will say that. And today is one of those moments. So this is going to be a quick story time because it's not really a lot to tell. But I will say this is one moment that I'm kind of like, I wish I would have did that better. So maybe I'll tell two. I want to tell a story about a date that I went on when I was newly celibate and I gave the wrong impression. And then two, a date where I didn't show up as my best self. So I'll start with the date I didn't show up as my best self. So this guy was hitting me up on Instagram a lot. I'm going to call him Trevor. I don't know where that came from, but his name Trevor today. So Trevor would hit me up on Instagram all the time and just like being flirty, cute, whatever. And he was an attractive guy. I don't remember what I was going through at the time, but men were getting on my nerves. So I feel like he didn't get a fair shot, even though he was a nice guy, is a nice guy. He came at me correctly. He was cool, but I think I was kind of in my healing stage, I believe. So I really wasn't as open as I would have liked to be because he was a dope dude. So he eventually asked me out, and he would ask me out quite often, and he lived in Atlantic Station. And so when he asked me out, I was just like, I roll, I'll go, but like I'm not really tripping on him. And I don't know why I had this attitude because again, he was cool. So I went, but y'all, when I tell y'all, like, I didn't really get dressed. I threw something on. I didn't put no makeup on. Not saying that I need it, but I didn't put my best foot forward because like now my whole thing is I don't care who the person is. If you agree to the date, show up as your best self. Put your outfit on. Act like you about to have a good time. Like, put your makeup on. Like, put it on. But I didn't do none of that. So I showed up. I was just like on super chill mode. I think my mood was a little off. And I could tell he could read that. And so basically after that, he did hit me up because he not no buster. Like, he don't have to chase women. He's a successful guy. He's an attractive guy. He's a sweetheart. And like, I fumbled that play. And I wholeheartedly take responsibility for that. So the lesson that I learned is like, always show up as your best self, ladies. Like, I've told y'all the story where the guy, my best date in 2022, even though it ended up not panning out, but it was still my best date. Like, I didn't know he was that fine until I showed up. Like, but I feel like if I would have showed up just like, whatever, he ain't gonna be that cute, I don't have to be my best self. The thing about it is, when you show up, you don't show up as your best self, and that person does, and they're better than what you expected, either in conversation, either in looks, whatever, and it's a better experience, you're going to be self-conscious on that date. You're not going to be able to fully be yourself and to fully just operate in your greatness. So you can miss out on a good thing by literally just not showing up as your best self. So the lesson I'm trying to teach right now, I don't know why my mind keeps going blank, but the basic lesson here is always show up as your best self, no matter what. If you say yes to the date, show up as your best self. If you feel like you can't show up as your best self, don't say yes to the date. Just don't go. You be better off just saying, hey, this isn't a good time, and like reaching back out to them later, because first impressions are everything. We talk about mental health a lot, but are you taking charge of your mental health journey? You already know I talk about going to therapy and how my therapist snatches my edges all the time, asking me questions that I would have never thought to ask myself, asking me questions that I've pondered on for years. But I want that for you. I want growth for you. I want the best version of yourself, because the only way to reach your goal, your potential, your destiny is to become the best version of yourself. And let that begin with therapy. So let's start with Talkspace. Talkspace has a promotion right now where you can get $100 off your first month. All you need is the code SPACE. Yes, SPACE, SPACE. Click the link in the description box to get Talkspace right now today. Let's start 2023 off right. We out here. I already told y'all we out here. So get it right now. Click the link wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple, it's in the description box, even YouTube. Get it right now. $100 off. Like $100, that's a lot of money. Y'all better come get this. Come get this therapy. Come get this therapy. So the last thing you want to do is make a bad first impression, and then you show up and that person is like so dope, and you done ruined your moment because you didn't show up as your best self. Second scenario. Now this one was a little bit different. This one was, okay, let me start with this. I've been celibate for going on 6 years, and my first year of celibacy, I struggled, of course, in like not having sex, but another struggle was just navigating dating as a person that's celibate. And this was 2017. So it was tough because I didn't really know how you supposed to move. Like, when do you tell the person? How do you tell the person? You know, do you kiss them? Do you go? Like, I didn't know. So it was just the blind leading the blind, right? So there was a gentleman I went out with. We went out after work. We used to work downtown. And we're on Edgewood in Atlanta. If anybody knows Atlanta, Edgewood is like this strip that you can just walk from like bar to bar. We started out at this place called Joystick, which is like a arcade, an adult arcade. So we were drinking, we were vibing out. And then we ended up going to this other bar down the street called, I don't know why I would think that I would remember what it's called. Anyway, I'm going to call him Frank. Now, we were in the second bar and we started drinking and stuff. Now, I will say, if you are new to your celibacy, when you're on a date, you want to limit your drinking. The reason you want to limit your drinking is, what does drinking do? It lightens your inhibition. So you don't really know fully what you're doing. And if you are not strong enough to say no to a sexual encounter, you should not be drinking with somebody, especially if this person doesn't know that you're celibate. He did not know that I was celibate. So he did not know or to think like maybe we should chill. He's thinking it's a go. It could possibly be a go. Like most men, their goal is sex. Their goal may not be just sex, but 99% of men, their goal is sex regardless. Like, again, it may not be just sex, but they want sex to come of this, okay? So We go to this bar, we're drinking. I'm probably on my like third or fourth drink. I have a heavy tolerance. So we vibing out. There was an encounter that he had. I ain't trying to call this man out. I'm not saying his real name, but sometimes I think, is he down low? He might be down low. And the reason I say that because we went to the bar, the second spot, and all of a sudden this guy who was gay came up to him and like was like, Frank, hey, what's up? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And then Frank looked at me like I was crazy. And it was just a big awkward situation. And then they went over to talk. And I just was like, what just happened? So he comes back. And he's like, oh, that's my old coworker. He's a cool guy, blah, blah, blah. But I'm thinking like, that was a little fishy. Red flag, red flag, red flag. But anyway, fast forward, night. We vibing out. We dancing together. So fast forward, we go back to my car. And then we get into this hot and steamy like makeout session. And so I'm thinking in my mind, I need to pull away from him because this is a very hot and steamy makeout session. He don't know that he's not about to get any. And so I pull away from him and this man says, your place or mine? And I'm like, oh no, oh no. Oh, no. So I made a bad first impression because I should have, before we got to that point, I should have let him know about my celibacy journey. Like, I definitely should have let him know. So I just said, no, I'm about to head home. I'm tired. And then we left. And we kind of talked a little bit after that, but I could tell, like, he was kind of weirded out because I don't feel like I led him on. We literally just had like a crazy makeout session, but I think he was just a bit confused because it is kind of mixed signals. If we go, we vibing out, we dancing on each other. It's late. It was like 11 p.m. by the time I got back to my car. No, it was later than that. It was like 1 a.m. He kissing me. I'm allowing him to kiss me. He probably was caressing me. I'm allowing it to happen. So he's probably thinking like it's about to go down. So that was a bad first impression because I didn't lay out what my scenario was. So I felt like that was unfair to him. So of course now that I've been in the game for a minute, I wouldn't allow that to happen. He would definitely know before then, but I bumped my head a few times just in the beginning of my journey because it's just a part of it, right? But I would say if any ladies are watching this and they're on their celibacy journey, like when you ask like when do you tell somebody? Now, usually right now I don't tell anybody until I feel like we've established or we've gotten to the point. Y'all hear that coughing in the background? That is my dog. He is going through these allergies, child. But anyway, I don't tell anyone until I get to that point where I feel like I can trust you enough to let you know. Kind of like, I know that you're here to get to know me. It's not on no gimmicks or no games. You're not trying to play me. Usually I can tell within the first conversation, second conversation, before we go out on a date, I can tell. But honestly, I think I'm going to start telling people sooner, not on some like first conversation randomly out of the blue, like, hey, how's your day? I'm celibate. I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to make it very natural. But I think I'm going to start telling people sooner just so I can get down to the nitty gritty. I feel like before I told y'all in my podcast, I've been lying to myself. I need to start being even more intentional about it because I feel like I've been teetering around certain things because I enjoy interactions with men, even if they're like, they don't always have to lead to a relationship or dating or marriage, but I know I want marriage. But because I enjoy interactions with men, I can navigate, we hanging out, we go out on other dates, we doing this, we doing that. Of course, most time they know I'm celibate, but I feel like if I tell them up front, it'll alleviate a lot of headache. Like it would, because here's the thing. I'm super cool. Okay? Like I'm very, very cool. I'm very, very chill. When dudes get to know me, even if they're not cool with the celibacy, I think many times they continue because I'm so cool. So I think if I tell them up front before they even get to know me, then it would alleviate a lot of wasted time or a lot of them thinking they can change my mind because it just creates a scenario where they're like, oh, maybe I can change her mind because she's so cool and I still want to hang out with her. Maybe if I be around her a little bit longer, then I can convince her to have sex with me, but you can't. So I feel like in the future, I'm just going to do a better job of telling people sooner so we don't get in that limbo gray area stage, right? So that was a bad first impression on my part, and I know I did that like a few times in my first year, but it's just a part of the learning journey. But yeah, those were my bad first impressions. And ladies, like, if you have some stories like that, don't feel bad. It happens. And sometimes you be wanting to redo it, but unfortunately in life, we just don't get those moments. Now, I have had men where I felt it was a bad first impression reach back out to me again. And sometimes I would like go for it, but most times I didn't. But yeah, it happens. It happens. So these are my biggest dating regrets. I would love to hear y'all's. If you want to hit me up in the comments or in my DM, like, just let me know. I'm just curious to hear, like, if y'all made like a bad first impression or you made a misleading first impression and you were kind of like, I wish I could redo that. But all right, y'all, till next time, bye.